Hello everyone, I'm Reverend Cole from Selkirk United Church and I'm here with another midweek message. It is March 3rd, 2021. First of all, some news and notes to pass along. First about the beef dinner. A big thank you to all those who have volunteered to help with the dinner. I hear that we now have all the help that we need. All positions have been filled. Almost all the tickets have been sold too. As of this morning, there were only 53 tickets left out of 300. So if you still want to go, you better make that phone call soon. You can contact Jerry or Irene Ham at 204-482-6057 or email them giham with two M's at mymts.net. Oh, and donations towards the cost of the beef are always welcome. Thank you so much to those who have already donated or bought tickets. And that dinner is a couple Sundays from now on the 14th of March. Some thank yous to send out today. Thank you to the youth. The youth are putting on a wonderful service coming up this Sunday. It's the youth service, and I'm really looking forward to watching that. Thanks to the youth and to Charlene and to Brenda Chorney for their help with the music, and Pat Bird for the new rainbow candle. Also, thank you to those who are offering their time for the Meals on Wheels program. Coming up this week is Keir Deer and family, the Uzdebskis, and Rob and Laura Zornick. Thank you to all. We have some good news about use of the church. We're not able to be there on Sunday mornings yet with the restrictions still in place, but because of some of the loosened restrictions, we do have a couple of our smaller groups coming back and starting to use the building. So we have the Girls After School Wellness Program. Their leaders have been in the building for the last few weeks, but now the rest of the group can come back because it's a small group and they'll be able to spread out and still practice social distancing. And the other group that's able to join back in the sanctuary is the yoga classes that will be starting, I think, fairly soon. So that's good news for at least some use of the church news. We also got a really nice note from Steinbach United, and I'll just read part of it. Dear friends, Steinbach United is becoming an affirming ministry. Join our celebration. Steinbach United Church is a community of faith that actively supports justice and inclusion and began 8 years ago on an affirming journey. Together we listened, studied, shared stories, faced challenges, and updated policies. On March 14th, we are celebrating becoming an affirming ministry within the United Church of Canada. All are welcome to attend a Zoom pre-recorded service on March 14th at 10:30 a.m. Following the service, we will be remaining on Zoom to visit and celebrate. And then there's some more information about how to take part in that Zoom. You have to let them know early so that they can send you out an invitation. If you'd like some more information about that, want to be part of their celebration, their day, you can let us know and we'll pass along the rest of the information to you. And finally today, I'd like to read to you a post from Chris Glazer. Chris is an author, minister, theologian who writes a blog called Progressive Christian Reflections. He's been doing that for 10 years now. A few weeks ago, he was feeling nostalgic and looked back to a reflection that he wrote near the very beginning of his time writing these blog posts, so almost 10 years ago. And he noticed from that early blog post, and you might notice this too, that what he wrote back then still has a lot of relevance for today. So here is Chris's post from April of 2011, almost 10 years ago. It's titled, "We've Got the Whole World in Our Hands." Let me read it as he wrote it. During recess in the second grade, my friend Mary and I enjoyed swinging as high as we could on the swing set, singing "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands." It's a great song of comfort, basically affirming that no matter what, God is holding us. Note the song doesn't say God is in control, just that God is there for us, and I still believe that. These days, we have a better grip on what it means for God to hold the whole world because we have the internet and a 24/7 news cycle. Now, we too have the whole world in our hands every time we log on. The narrator in my as yet unpublished mystery novel so reveres the internet that just as many of us only visit God on Sunday mornings, he only visits the internet on Saturday mornings. Demonstrating a similar reverence, only recently has my spell check stopped correcting me when I fail to capitalize the word internet, though it never corrects me when I fail to capitalize God. A retreat leader once scandalized my progressive theology, the theology that tells you to have the Bible in one hand and the New York Times in the other during your morning prayers. By observing the omnipresent news cycle hooks us in other people's stories before we know our own story for the day. And during a retreat I was leading on finding space in our busy lives to rest in God, a woman had the aha moment that she was busy even in her prayers, listing the world's concerns as if the whole world were not already in God's hands. Now more than ever, we have the whole world in our hands. And more than ever, we need to step back, take a breath, take moments of Sabbath rest, and resist the temptation to use Eden's apple or the Silicon Valley's apple to be like the gods. Yet we are not absolved of responsibility. Now, also more than ever, the internet gives what we do and say the power to transform the world for good or for ill. We've got the whole world in our hands. If we are God's, then that should be a comfort rather than a concern. That was from Chris Glaser 10 years ago. The whole world is still in God's hands. I like the way Chris put it, that doesn't mean God controls everything. It means that God is there for us. God is here for us. And likewise, we still have the whole world in our hands, as he says, I think in a couple of different ways. We have all the information we could ever want at our fingertips. We can call it up in seconds and learn all we need to know. Of course, we can also choose to waste all of our time online on things that are meaningless or worse. But at the same time, we also have the whole world in our hands in that God calls upon us, each of us, to be God's hands and feet and heart in the world. We are called to be disciples still today, to take all of that knowledge that we have access to and to use it to figure out where we're needed, what we can do, where God's love needs to be shared, where Christ calls us to seek justice and resist evil in our day. But we're also called at the same time to find that balance between work and rest, as Chris mentioned, between doing the work we are called to do, but also finding time to be thankful for all the blessings of this life and to enjoy our time on this beautiful planet. Lots of challenges there. May we rise up to meet those challenges with God's help. Thanks to Chris Glaser for those words of challenge and hope and inspiration for us today. And that's all I have for today. I hope you all have a good week. God be with you, and I'll see you next time.